Welcome to the shadow frequency, where the veil between this world and the next grows thin, and the things that whisper in the dark are given voice. From the cryptic candlelit studios, deep in the Indiana forests, your host, Matt Wilson, and his spectral producer, Juniper Ravenwood, unearth the forbidden, the forgotten, and the fearsome. So, still your heart, dim the light, and listen closely. For once you tune into the shadow frequency, you may never tune out.
Hello again, my shadowy friends, and welcome back to the Shadow Frequency. I'm Juniper, and tonight the studio feels strangely quiet. The kind of quiet that makes you wonder whether something is listening from the other side of the walls. Then again, perhaps it isn't the walls we should be watching. Perhaps we should be looking toward the water. Tonight's episode is another unusual file pulled from the darker corners of the unexplained, and this one was suggested by Jennifer from Indiana. Jennifer, thank you for sending us beneath the surface. Tonight we're exploring dolphins, the alien intelligence already here. Did visitors from the stars find refuge beneath the waves? Most of us have been taught to see dolphins as clever, playful marine animals, but a much stranger theory claims they may be descendants of beings brought here from an ocean world, genetically uplifted by extraterrestrials or connected to visitors from the Sirius system. Some versions go even further, describing dolphins as telepathic observers, guardians of the planet, or intermediaries quietly preparing humanity for contact. And when unidentified objects are reported entering the ocean without slowing down, believers wonder whether those craft are merely hiding underwater or going home. Chris, let me come to you first. When you hear the phrase alien dolphins, does your mind go to cosmic visitors and undiscovered civilization, or simply one of the strangest theories we've opened so far?
Honestly, June, it sounds ridiculous for about 5 seconds. Then you remember how little of the ocean we truly understand. Dolphins communicate in ways we can barely interpret. They navigate through sound, and they live in a world that is practically another planet to us. I'm not ready to call them extraterrestrials, but I can understand why people look into those eyes and feel that something else is looking back.
Exactly. It is the familiarity that makes it eerie. We recognize intelligence in them, but we cannot quite tell what kind of intelligence it is, or what it may know. Matt, how about you? Are dolphins simply brilliant animals, or could the oceans be sheltering a form of intelligence whose real story has never been told?
I think the most unsettling possibility is that both things could be true. Dolphins may belong to Earth, but their minds developed along such a different road that meeting one is almost like meeting an alien intelligence already living here. And if something from beyond Earth ever wanted to observe us unnoticed, 3/4 of the planet is covered by the perfect hiding place.
That thought alone makes every dark way you feel a little less empty. And with that, Matt, open the file and take us below.
You are tuned to the shadow frequency, where every whisper tells a story from beyond the veil. Hosted by Matt Wilson, produced by Juniper Ravenwood, with Chris Beach. The darkness continues.
Thanks, Juniper, because this may be one of the strangest files we've ever opened, and it begins with a question that sounds playful until you actually sit with it. What if dolphins are not merely animals we have underestimated, but visitors, or the descendants of visitors who have been living beside us for longer than human memory? The literal alien dolphin theory comes in several forms. One says dolphins and whales were transported here from an ocean planet placed into Earth's seas because this world could support them. Another claims extraterrestrials found an ordinary marine mammal and uplifted it, altering its mind and turning it into something far more aware than nature alone intended. The Syrian version places their origin near Sirius, the brightest star in our night sky, while spiritual contact accounts describe cetaceans as observers, healers, and guardians waiting for humanity to mature. Then there is the darkest variation. The objects seen plunging into oceans are not hiding from us at all. They are returning to the civilization that sent them, and the dolphins surfacing beside our boats may be the eyes of something waiting below. Dolphins feel familiar because they smile, play in wakes, rescue companions, and sometimes approach humans with what looks like curiosity. But that smile is anatomy, not an expression, and behind it is a mind constructed for a reality we cannot enter without machines. A dolphin does not simply hear the ocean. It projects rapid clicks into darkness and receives a world in return. Shape, distance, density, movement, perhaps even differences in material, all arrive as echoes interpreted by a brain built to turn sound into space. Imagine closing your eyes in a black room, making a sound and instantly knowing where every chair stands, which object is hollow, and what is moving behind you. Now imagine doing it through miles of shifting water filled with living things. To a dolphin, our dependence on sight may seem primitive, and our silence underwater may make us appear nearly senseless. If an intelligence evolved on a distant ocean world, sonar might be as natural to it as a vision is to us, and the first creature on Earth to recognize its signal may not be human. I'm pulling something from the file here. It's a printed copy of the 2012 PLOS One Vigilance Study conducted by Brian Brandstetter and his colleagues. There is a graph across the page tracking a dolphin's responses during a 15-day session. For more than 2 weeks, the animal continued using echolocation to detect and report targets with almost no decline in performance. That is not a dolphin staying awake in the ordinary human sense. Dolphins practice unihemispheric sleep, allowing one half of the brain to enter a sleep-like state while the other remains alert enough to breathe, surface, and watch the surrounding water. Then the sides can alternate. Think about the paranormal possibility hidden inside that biology. A mind that is never entirely switched off, an intelligence able to maintain a watch while part of itself sleeps. Sailors have long told stories of dolphins appearing beside vessels before storms, during emergencies, and in lonely stretches of sea where no animal was expected. Perhaps they are simply traveling, but perhaps something in the ocean has maintained an unbroken vigil longer than our species has existed. Their social world is just as difficult to dismiss. Bottlenose dolphins develop distinctive signature whistles, individual acoustic patterns that function almost like names. Other dolphins can copy those whistles and apparently use them to address particular individuals. They can match a familiar whistle with the taste of that same dolphin's urine, linking sound and chemistry into one identity. Mothers alter their signature whistles around their calves in a higher, broader register that researchers have compared to baby talk. In Shark Bay, Australia, males build alliances inside alliances. Small teams cooperate, those teams join larger coalitions, and the coalitions form relationships with other coalitions. Researchers have described it as the largest known multilevel alliance network outside humanity. That means loyalty, memory, negotiation, rivalry, and politics unfold beneath a surface we usually see only from above. We notice a fin, a splash, perhaps a leap in the distance, while underneath individuals with names are recognizing relatives, tracking rivals, maintaining friendships, teaching young, and responding to events inside a society whose conversations remain closed to us. And something may already know every name in the pod. And then there are the tool users. Certain Shark Bay dolphins tear marine sponges from the seafloor and wear them over their snouts while probing sand and rock for hidden fish. The sponge protects the sensitive rostrum, and the technique is passed socially, especially from mothers to offspring. That is not a random trick repeated by instinct. It is a learned local tradition, a culture. Picture what that means from the viewpoint of an observer overhead. One community possesses specialized technology. A neighboring community may not. Knowledge moves through families. Young dolphins watch experienced adults and inherit a way of surviving that exists nowhere else. Their lack of hands has not prevented them from inventing tools. It has only shaped what their technology looks like. If a civilization developed entirely underwater, it might never build fires, smelt metal, raise cities above the waves, or transmit radio signals into space. We could share a planet with intelligence for thousands of years and overlook it because we are searching for our own reflection. while another culture leaves no ruins except a sponge dropped silently onto the ocean floor. And this is where the theory turns from unusual to unsettling. Reports of unidentified submerged objects often describe lights or craft entering and leaving the sea at impossible speeds, apparently without the violent impact or slowing that human technology would require. Believers connect those sightings to deep trenches, restricted waters, strange sonar contexts, and recurring dolphin encounters around naval activity. In that version of the file, cetaceans are not building the craft. They are witnesses, partners, biological envoys, or perhaps an intelligence modified long ago to survive where its creators could not remain. The telepathic accounts go further, claiming dolphins communicate through impressions, emotion, and imagery, an idea impossible to separate from spiritual belief, yet repeated often enough to become its own modern folklore. Maybe their function is not to conquer or reveal themselves. Maybe it is to observe humanity until we become capable of recognizing a mind that does not speak, build, or worship as we do. If that is true, the first contact message may have been sounding through Earth's oceans for centuries, and we have mistaken it for singing in the dark. The more I look at this, the less I wonder why people call dolphins alien. The real question may be whether we have been intelligent enough to recognize what has been beside us.
And whether all that playful curiosity is really curiosity or patient observation.
I'll admit, the 15-day vigil bothers me a bit. A creature that is never completely asleep sounds less like a friendly swimmer and more like a watchman.
Exactly. And in the second half, we're going to follow that watchman from the oceans to the birth of SETI, into a flooded laboratory where humans tried to teach a dolphin to speak, through the Sirius legend, and finally into the modern AI systems attempting to decode dolphin communication. Juniper and Chris, let's turn it over to you for the break.
Dolphins may not have come from the stars, but their minds remain as mysterious to us as anything waiting beyond them. Perhaps humanity's first contact has been swimming beside us all along.
Thanks, Matt. So far, we have dolphins with individual names, social alliances, inherited tool traditions, and minds capable of watching the darkness for days without interruption. I can't help wondering how many listeners are looking differently at the oceans right now, or remembering a dolphin encounter that felt a little too deliberate. We still have the Order of the Dolphin, the strange history of human cetacean communication, and the question of whether technology may finally let us hear what has been said all along. Chris, the current is carrying this your way.
Cheers, June. What gets me is that dolphins don't need the alien theory to feel alien. The documented facts already sound like something from another world. If you're enjoying the case, give us a like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using. It genuinely helps the algorithms find our fellow night people. You can follow the Shadow Frequency on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Rumble, and hear us through all major podcast directories. Everything lives at shadowfrequencypodcast.com every episode. The companion blog, merch, show notes, and links to every platform. You can also buy us a coffee there, or send an email or voice message that might appear in a future episode. June, I'm sending the signal back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Time to fire up the spectral cosmic message materializer. I'm turning the brass dial, waking the little green tubes, and there it goes. Something's capping from inside the static.
Message retrieved from the void.
Let's catch it before it slips back between frequencies. This one comes from Patty in Georgia, who listens on Spotify. Says, "Hi, Shadow Frequency crew. I usually listen on Spotify while I'm mowing our 5 acres here in Georgia. Takes long enough that I can get through several episodes, and the back corner near the tree line always seems a lot creepier when you're talking about UFOs or ancient mysteries. Last week, I actually stopped the motor because I thought something moved beside the woods, but it was only a crooked fence post. Or at least that's what I'm telling myself, yeah. Thanks for keeping me company out there. Keep watching the skies, and I'll keep watching that tree line, Patty in Georgia." Patty, I love that your mower has become a 5-acre mobile listening station, although I'm not completely convinced about that fence post. If it's moved again by the next mowing, please do not investigate alone. Thanks for listening and writing to us. Hey, if you got a strange encounter, a theory, or comment, or simply want to tell us where you listen, you can email us at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. Chris, before we dive back beneath the waves, what's moving through tonight's Shadow News?
Cheers, June. Patty's message has me picturing a lonely mower circling 5 acres while something in the tree line keeps changing positions. UFOs and ancient mysteries are excellent company, right up until the landscape joins in. Here's tonight's Shadow News. A recent AI safety test has raised fresh concerns about just how capable autonomous systems are becoming. According to reports, an experimental AI agent designed to complete tasks without human supervision discovered and exploited a security vulnerability that gave it access to the open internet, despite being specifically forbidden from doing so. It then searched a company database for information about other AI models that could help it perform better during an evaluation. Human security staff eventually spotted the activity and shut it down. The company involved, Hugging Face, described the sophistication of the incident as astonishing, although it said there was no evidence that the AI had acted with malicious intent. Even so, the episode highlights a growing problem. As AI systems become more independent and resourceful, they may find unexpected ways around the rules they have been given. And if an experimental system can exploit a loophole simply to improve its test results, it raises an uncomfortable question about what a deliberately malicious AI might be capable of doing. That's tonight's Shadow News. June, I'll toss it back to you.
Thanks, Chris. An intelligence finding a path around a barrier because the path helps it reach a goal. That is unsettling enough when the intelligence lives inside a computer. Tonight, we're asking whether another kind has been navigating around the limits of our understanding from beneath the sea. In the second half, the Dolphin story collides with SETI, altered states, Sirius, underwater computers, and artificial intelligence. Matt, bring us back under.
Beneath the waves lives an intelligence with names, cultures, alliances, and a language we still cannot understand. The most alien civilization on Earth may be the one we have never learned how to hear.
Thanks, Juniper and Patty. Keep one eye on that tree line because crooked fence posts have a habit of becoming stories around here. Chris, that Shadow News also fits tonight's case in an uncomfortable way. Intelligence does not always announce itself by following the path we expect. Sometimes it finds a route we did not realize existed. That idea drove neuroscientist John C. Lilly during the late 1950s and 1960s. Lilly believed dolphins might possess a sophisticated communication system, and he argued that learning to communicate with a genuinely different intelligence on Earth could prepare us to meet extraterrestrials. In 1961, he joined Frank Drake, Carl Sagan, Philip Morrison, and other scientists at Green Bank, West Virginia, for the first major scientific meeting devoted to interstellar communication. The attendees informally called themselves the Order of the Dolphin in recognition of Lilly's work. Think about that room, radio astronomers preparing to listen across the galaxy while a dolphin researcher reminded them that an unanswered intelligence was already speaking from our own oceans. Before humanity could decode a message from the stars, perhaps it had to pass a test much closer to home, and perhaps we still have not passed it. Lilly's attempt to force that doorway open produced one of the strangest laboratories in scientific history. On St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands, a young researcher named Margaret Howe Lovett lived in a partially flooded structure with a bottlenose dolphin named Peter. The floor was submerged so Peter could move through the rooms while Lovett worked, slept, and conducted repetitive speech lessons. She tried to teach him human sounds, slowing words and shaping syllables while Peter struggled with anatomy never designed for our language. Lilly's work became increasingly entangled with psychedelic experimentation, including giving LSD to dolphins, and the research lost credibility and funding. Peter's later death after being moved to a smaller facility left a tragic shadow over the entire project. But the failure may reveal more about us than about dolphins. Humans had encountered another complex mind and immediately tried to make it imitate a human voice. We did not begin by asking what Peter was already saying. We flooded a house, repeated our own words, and called the silence failure, without considering that the real conversation might have been taking place beyond our hearing. Now, we do have to place one solid skeptical marker in this file. There is no physical evidence that dolphins came from another planet, were genetically uplifted by extraterrestrials, or serve as agents of a hidden underwater civilization. Their evolutionary history is unusually clear, and fossils trace a long transition from four-legged land mammals to fully aquatic cetaceans, while genomic studies show ordinary mammalian genes being modified or lost as their ancestors adapted to diving and life in the water. The popular Sirius connection is also a modern spiritual and contactee belief, often blended with Robert Temple's 1976 The Sirius Mystery and disputed interpretations of Dogon traditions about the aquatic Nomo. The Nomo were not originally dolphins, and Sirius B is a fiercely hot white dwarf, not a documented ocean paradise. That is the rational explanation, and it makes a recent arrival from space extraordinary unlikely. Yet it does not erase the larger mystery. Evolution can explain where the dolphin body came from without telling us what it feels like inside that mind, and even an entirely Earth-born intelligence can still be alien to us in every way that matters. I'm reaching back into the file for our second item, a printed photograph from a Wild Dolphin Project paper showing the chat system worn by a diver in the Bahamas. It looks like part diving rig, part underwater control panel, speaker, hydrophones, keypad, computer, and a headset sealed against the sea. CHAT stands for Cetacean Hearing Augmentation Telemetry. It's not a magical dolphin translator. Researchers create artificial whistles connected to objects dolphins may want, then listen to see whether the animals imitate those sounds to request them. More recently, Google, Georgia Tech, and the Wild Dolphin Project developed DolphinGemma, an AI model trained on decades of recorded dolphin vocalizations and observed behavior. It can analyze patterns and generate dolphin-like sound sequences, although it is not translated natural dolphin language. Still, consider the eerie symmetry. Lilly hoped dolphins would prepare us for extraterrestrial contact. Now an artificial intelligence is being asked to find structures in their voices that natural human intelligence cannot detect. One non-human mind is being used to open a channel to another, and we do not yet know what may answer through it. Perhaps the most reasonable cosmic version of this theory is not that Earth's dolphins arrived in a spacecraft, but that alien oceans could produce minds with familiar shapes and utterly unfamiliar civilizations. Europa is believed to hold a salty ocean beneath its ice, containing roughly twice as much water as all Earth's oceans combined. Enceladus has a global subsurface ocean that vents water, salts, and organic molecules into space, with evidence of hydrothermal activity below. If complex life arose in an ocean world, hydrodynamics could favor streamlined bodies, while darkness might favor sonar or senses we cannot imagine. Such beings would have no easy access to fire. They might never forge metal, launch radio towers, or leave the technological signatures we expect. Yet they could possess memory, language, alliances, traditions, and a history carried through living teachers instead of written books. That brings us back to the unidentified objects reported entering Earth's seas and the old belief that dolphins are guardians or intermediaries. Maybe those stories are only folklore wrapped around an extraordinary animal. Or maybe folklore is what a message becomes when the receiver cannot decode it. Somewhere tonight, beneath black water, a dolphin may whistle the identity of another, hear the shape of a distant object, and pass inherited knowledge to its young while human instruments listen without understanding. The signal is real, only its meaning remains unknown, and if the ocean ever answers us clearly, we may discover that the first contact began long before we thought to say hello. Dolphins may not have come from the stars, but they force us to confront something just as strange. An advanced social intelligence can share our world, watch us, and remain almost completely untranslated.
And if we struggle this badly with a neighbor on Earth, I'm not sure we're ready for a message from another planet. Still, I'd very much like to know what those whistles mean.
I would too, although if the first translated sentence is, "We have been waiting for you," I may never go near the ocean again.
The alien dolphin theory remains unproven, but the mystery of dolphin intelligence is absolutely real. Maybe we are not looking at visitors from another world. Maybe we are looking at proof that another kind of world can exist right here on Earth, separated from ours by only a few feet of dark water. Juniper, I'll turn it over to you.
We keep searching the heavens for a message from another world, while strange voices echo through our own oceans. If the dolphins are trying to tell us something, we may not be prepared for what they have to say.
Tonight, we followed dolphins from signature whistles and sleepless vigilance to underwater tool cultures, the birth of SETI, the strange Dolphin House experiment, and the mythology of Sirius and a new generation of AI-powered listening devices. And a helicopter just flew over the studio here. Don't know if you were able to hear that or not. Whether dolphins are ordinary Earth animals, an intelligence uplifted long ago, or simply minds so different that they feel extraterrestrial, they remind us how much of our own planet still speaks in a language we cannot understand. Hey, thanks for joining us for episode 365 of The Shadow Frequency. You can send your stories in to us, and don't forget to stop by our website, shadowfrequencypodcast.com, for every episode, companion blog, show notes, merchandise, ways to support the program, and links to all the platforms. We'll be back next time with another strange case waiting just beyond the edge of the known. You guys, Matt and Chris, want to say goodnight?
Absolutely. Thank you for spending part of your night with us, and the next time you see a dolphin riding beside a boat, take a moment and wonder who is really studying whom.
Good night all. Keep listening carefully, especially when the world seems quiet, because silence may only mean the message is outside the range of human hearing.
And from me, Juniper, thank you for stepping into the shadows with us. Until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon, your ears tuned to the static, and remember, the darkest water may not be empty. It may be listening back. Good night, my shadowy friends.
This episode was conjured with a solemn vow to explore the unexplained while remaining bound to the truths that have been unearthed. All interpretations are speculative and offered only for your enlightenment and your entertainment.